I believe, yes, it is the Indianapolis Colts. And if you go back a year ago, there was a lot of high promise for Anthony Richardson, who went down with a weird grade 3 deep shoulder sprain, which he got surgery on. So he ended up missing the entire year. Gardner Minshew steps in. Minshew wins a lot of key games, like in Baltimore, and he helps him get a promising Week 18 game in primetime Saturday night against the Houston Texans for the division title, essentially. They fell, a fourth down catch short by Tyler Goodson, and, well, that was kind of where the season is. So in 2024, they're hoping that Anthony Richardson can come back, progress the way he can, and be this promising quarterback that they drafted number 4 overall in 2023. As we look into the offense here, there's not a lot of big pieces that the Colts did to change it up per se. They draft Donnie Mitchell out of Texas, who could have been a first-round pick. It just was weird how receivers and all that fell through. They go out and they needed a backup quarterback. Gardner Minshew goes to Las Vegas with his little RV van, truck, whatever he does. Doesn't pay for any rent. He just lives in the truck. I still love that story. You bring in comeback player of the year, 38-year-old Joe Flacco. And here's a piece I really like here. He was on the Eagles, and he was kind of lost in the depth chart there, Jake. But Trey Sermon listed as RB2.
He played at some point in the last 2 seasons. He had more carries than Rashad Penny did.
And Rashad Penny's retired now, so just look at that.
Is he really? What?
Yeah,
he retired yesterday.
Right after last week when he said that he could be a top running back in the league if he got touches, and he retired? That's crazy. I read that last week, and I was like, all right, bud, let's chill. And then I guess he really did chill.
You heard Dom laughing at it, and he's like, you know what? I can't do it. This guy on the internet made fun of me, hanging it up.
I mean, I probably wasn't the only one. I had nothing against the dude, but
I was straight up angry that he got playing time over Gainwell all season. Or didn't get playing time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I'm so surprised you said that.
Other way. I wanted him to play.
Wow. I mean, not to get off topic, but that's kind of crazy. All right.
Continue. So Anthony Richardson is the starter. He's looking to come back. I mean, when he was in games, the Colts offense was electric, but also it wasn't I should think of the appropriate word here. It wasn't meant to last. He got that concussion in week 2 against the Texans after scoring his second rushing touchdown. He didn't finish the Rams game. And then I believe the Titans game, that's where he got hurt.
Game.
No, he literally didn't finish.
He didn't complete a single game.
Oh, yeah, he missed the week 1 against the Jaguars. He also didn't complete as well. So, I mean, there is also now the injury concerns with Richardson. I mean, if he's on the field, I think this is prime 2011, 2014 Cam, pre that shoulder injury. He can be the one of the most electric quarterbacks in the AFC and potentially the NFL. It all comes down to health.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone doubts that. I don't think anyone doubted that last season. Before we start going down the health rabbit hole, I fully expect this team to at least make a big push for Ayuk.
Patriots still in, I guess.
This team, the Patriots, and I forgot the other one that I have in my Rolodex in my head. This is the one I really see because
Packers.
No,
okay,
because they have to pay Love next in the offseason. They have Richardson, who, if he's healthy, on a rookie deal, really all the offense needs is a dynamic receiver, one receiver.
They don't have a bad receiving core at all. Josh Downs is good. Pittman's Pittman. I mean,
and you also have some depth too. Doolin, Pierce, you got good pieces, and then it's kind of who's going to be fighting for that wide receiver 6. You got Laquan Treadwell, who's bounced around every other team in the league. He's the Josh Johnson of receivers. He's on every single team's practice squad, on a game or 2 basis on a roster.
They have guys that can catch the ball, can run routes. They have dudes. I mean, Pittman's Pittman too. And I don't think any of us are doubting that Richardson can throw the ball either. It's just the fact that he does the things that the quarterbacks that are so physically talented do, like Lamar, and it is a liability, obviously. I mean, we've seen it in the league enough. I'm not going to harp on it, but these quarterbacks are liabilities when they go out there and do that to themselves, and it is what it is, and it's a great thing when it works, and it's a really bad thing when they get hurt. It's just, if he could protect himself a little bit more, maybe don't take some of those risks. He plays longer then. He's in the games till the end and stuff. And I'm sure that's stuff that they've worked on, that they've talked about, that they've,
He doesn't need to either.
Exactly. That's the thing, is he can throw the ball well. Like, he's not a bad quarterback at all. We've questioned some of those guys. I've questioned Lamar. He's proven me a little bit wrong last year. Questioned other guys like Cam later in his career, stuff like that, But he can throw the ball well enough to be a good quarterback on his own without having to extend plays or anything like that with his legs. So, yeah, that's the thing, is he doesn't need to do those things. So if they can make him play a little bit safer, a little bit more conservative with how he does that, if he could stay in the games for longer, for the whole entire game, I would be decently confident this team can perform and win more games than last year. I mean, they won 9 games last year. They went over 500. That's not bad for their situation at all. So, and I would say that this team could have been better. And that was with Jonathan Taylor not playing for half the season as well, by the way. So this is an improved team from last year, no matter how you cut it.
Also, if I recall, Quentin Nelson did not have the best year either.
No, I don't think any of the offensive line did, right?
Like, they didn't have a great year for players that you know as like sure thing top talent at the line position.
So I think this offense period this year is improved just from having Jonathan Taylor the whole year. That's almost enough right there. But, fresh start, whole team together. I think it's an improvement from last year, obviously, and it's only up. We haven't looked at their schedule in the defense yet, but still.
I mean, if you want to go to the defense, we can.
Yeah.
The one name we do have to mention here, Samson Ebukam, torn Achilles. He's out for the year. They signed a guy who is going to fill in, but I mean, next man up. That's what kind of what training camp is. Like, someone goes down with an injury, that frees up, someone that might not make the roster, have a chance to make the 53-man roster. And it's kind of messed up to say, but that's really how it is in the league. Like, you really make a lot of prime opportunities off of that. But looking at the rest of the team here, let me pull up. Gotta get there.
NFI on there.
Crap. What is that? That's a quick Google search.
Yeah, what does it mean? Non-football injury?
That actually might be it.
I might actually
because it's red, like he's not, like he's
out,
like
he's injured. It might be a non-football injury.
Yeah, that might be like non-football injury. I looked it up and it says NFI, not flipping invited. That was also another Google search.
Oh, he's not invited.
That's too funny.
But they only made 2 free agent acquisitions here, and then Raekwon Davis, the defensive tackle, who is on the NFI list. So that's another thing there. They didn't lose much. They've lost Jonathan Martin as a defensive end, and on offense was Isaiah McKenzie, Zach Moss, and Gardner Minshew.
Okay.
They added a lot through the draft, though. Liatu Latu, UCLA defensive end. And they've also added some cornerbacks who were middle of the season. The Colts were really thin at, so they added Micah Abraham. They've added Jalen Simpson, Auburn for Simpson and Marshall for Abraham. They locked down Kenny Moore for a 3-year deal worth $30 million. He made a lot of clutch plays for him late in the year, but
yeah. Well, I have a question. I don't remember for a second Kenny Moore ever being on New England. Is that just me being wrong, or like?
Let's look up Google, because I kind of tune out all this. But anyone in New England. So let's look this up really quick.
Has he not been on the Colts for like?
He was on the New England Patriots practice squad, and they cut him from the practice in 2017.
It says waivers, so it's just how they acquired him. It doesn't say that.
I get that, but I see New England next to him. I'm like, I don't. For as long as his career has existed, I've only thought of him as a Colt. I don't know.
Yeah. But 516 tackles, 9.5 sacks. He has 3 defensive touchdowns, 2 of which came against the Panthers last year. 55 pass deflections and 17 interceptions. No, he's not. He's really worked his way up here in the league. So
any stats versus the Panthers last year don't count. So take away what 3 pick 6 from
2.
No, from the Cowboys guy. Yeah. That's one blank on his name at the moment.
Bland.
I was going to say a baseball player. No, that I knew was wrong.
Deron Bland is who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
No, it's the same defense. It's
nothing really changed. It's like you got some youth in there. You didn't lose anyone. It's Samson Bukum is a loss, and then you lose Jonathan Martin. I already lost his name yet. Jacob Martin, something with a J Martin.
But they have the time to figure it out and whatnot. So they can. It's okay.
And I should also mention, too, Jim Bob Cooter, one of the best names in NFL history, offensive coordinator. And Gus Bradley, the former Jaguars coach, is the defensive coordinator. So
two guys from the really bad Lions? I think.
That might be true.
I know Cooter was. Yeah. Cooter was their coach, I think.
Yeah, Cooter was there. That was before the arrival of Dan Campbell.
Well, a long time ago now. Megatron was still on the team. I think he was. It was around.
Nah. This is like 2020 when he was like last there.
Nah, it was earlier than that.
As a head coach, I don't know.
Yeah, head coach of the Jaguars, like forever ago. He was part of the
not
Gus,
Jim Bob Cooter.
Coach of the Jaguars? Are we still talking about the Lions? Okay. You're even confusing me here.
Let's go to the schedule.
I want to go to the schedule. So here we go. One schedule at very fine print telling you if it's a home game or at. So I don't even know where I pulled the schedule.
I'd rather these ones that tell you versus the color code thing.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
But yes, unlike the Titans, they had the late bye week here, week 14 compared to their week 5.
Jeez.
They do have a couple primetime games. One is against the Jets. That's a Sunday night football game. And they do have that subject to flexing game, week 17, which could be a Saturday game or a Sunday game, depending on which one has more odds at stake. And then week 18, which is every game's has the flexing option. But a lot of early games, though, for the Colts. Outside of the Jets and the Broncos are a 425. They're playing early this year, so a lot of key matchups with Caleb Williams. They'll be playing the Steelers. I say the toughest stretch of their schedule there is 7-12. The Dolphins, the Texans, and then you go against the Vikings, then the Bills, the Jets, then the Lions.
But then 13 and on, after that is an easy stretch, dude. An easy stretch. They could win every single one of those games, potentially. In full form, if Anthony Richardson is legit and doing it, maybe. I could have this team at like 10 wins.
Yeah, I had 9 to 10.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, here's my bold take. This is gonna be a team that makes the playoffs this year. I was gonna say that.
Well,
I was going as far as
9
that.
puts you in the conversation.
Yeah, easily. I mean, generously they could have 11 wins, but
I think it all depends. Like, how will the first 4 games go down? Because you do play Stroud and the Texans, who are very hot coming off their playoff push. Then you go against Jordan Love, who's also another team that's coming off very hot. And then you have the question marks with the Bears. And then it's
nice couple games. There's a nice couple games there. Bears, Steelers, Jags, Titans that you could kind of get back on track, and you get on track, I guess, period. Because like you said, those first 2 games are tough.
I mean, they control their own destiny, though, because you have to imagine Miami, Buffalo, and the Jets are all fighting for a playoff spot in that division.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You win 2 of the 3, you help yourself out a lot. Even 1, if depending on who it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or the Steelers, too.
Yeah.
Just like last year, though, they have the playoff, the playoff berth in their own hands. They just have to